So I would like you to go through the Google Collab and I'll help you log into that.
Sounds like a great idea. So obviously some people would have been on there last time, but yeah, let's get these links shared.
Yeah.
In the chat.
So let me share my, please go to your Internet Explorer. And if you can see my screen and type in the Google Collab and Google Operator, and if you press enter, here is the first link that you get, or you can go to Google Collaboratory here. Can you all follow me? Are you able to follow me, guys? Everyone?
So far, so good. Yeah, let's say collab.research.google.com. Is that where we need to go?
Yes.
Great. I'll pop that in the chat here.
Link.
There we go. Let's jump in. Exciting.
Great. So please let me know if you are able to follow this, and I will give this URL.
Just quick check around. Everybody okay? Accessing that all right? You don't need to tell me if you are, just tell me if you aren't.
Okay. No
browser problems. No hands raised, everybody. Everybody in, everybody onto that site. I'll assume so, but just DM me or shout in the chat or whatever, raise a hand if you're not.
If you're able to follow this,
great.
And just type in this welcome to Collaboratory. And if you click on this, it will give you this window, this page. Please type in if you're able to get this, still connecting on the laptop, okay? And I request all of you to log in through your laptop so that you can do you can do hands-on practice. And if you log in from mobile, then you'll be missing out on this hands-on practice.
Just going to pop my screen up here a second, okay. Rupa, so this is what I've got when I load in there. Don't see that welcome that you've got there.
Okay, you can click on this overview of Google Collaboration.
This one here. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Great stuff. Okay, back with you.
Is Chrome okay? Yes, you can start with Chrome. I have opened this with Chrome itself. Okay. So is that working? Please confirm, Richard, if that is working for you now.
Looks good this side. Yeah, I think we're all moving together. Shout, 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 shout. If you're not, don't.
Yes, you can unmute yourself.
Don't stay quiet and not follow. Just speak up. This is the idea of the session.
Yes.
We all move as one.
Yes, so don't worry about it. And since we are not right now, we don't want to confuse you with the software installation, although it is not very difficult. So we just want you to start with Google Collab, and so that we can start straight away. We can start with the Python coding, and so it's very easy. You just have to go to Google Collab URL, and here we get this page. And yes, Arpit, all right, great. In any web browser, we can open Google Collab, right? So, and then click on this file. As you can see here, this file option and new notebook. All right, if I click on this, I get the new notebook and we are ready to write our first code with Python. So once this opens, yes. So now here we have this cell and we are ready to write our first code with Python. So please let me know if everyone is on the same page.
Got a new joiner here, Shavil with 2 H's, very cool. So let's just drop, because obviously they won't have the chat history here. So let's catch them up because it won't take more than a second. We are over here. So head on to that. Any browser, Chrome's fine. Come on in. And then all we've done so far is just go to File, new notebook. So in about 10 seconds, I reckon you can catch us up, but shout if you need any more.
Great.
Okay, back with you.
And if you want to rename this file, so you can write down here, do not delete this IPNYB, just untitled this one, and you can just write it down, Python workshop 2, okay, or any other name that you would want. So this is what we can just rename it, and it just gives you, it just renames the notebook, right? So anybody has any question, please ask, and so that we will put you in the breakout rooms, which will be a group of 3 to 4 people. And if you have not followed till now, you can help each other, and you can also create the group leader in your group breakout rooms, and identify your group leader, and come up with a nice group name, and we would like to and share that with us. And so this is a teamwork that we want you to achieve, and we are going to do lots of hands-on practice, and this session is to just to help you come out of that inertia and fear of programming. So any one of you who has never done any programming, so this course is for you, so that we can help you come out of that fear. All right.
Okay, let's just loop back and come back to where you are, Rupert. So we're going to create these breakout rooms now so that we can work in little small groups. So how do we know what we're supposed to be doing in there? I mean, you said let's have a leader of the group. Fine, we give it a funky name. Let's not spend more than 15 seconds on a name. That's probably not the key point of today. But and then are you going to come in and brief us, or are you going to brief us now? How do you want to do this?
Yes, so the first breakout room is just to create their name, identify their name, and identify their group leader, and making sure that everybody is able to open the Google Collab. So we are going to create a breakout room for maybe 30 seconds, if that's okay, and you guys can know about each other, right?
Okay, so we can check whether we're in Google Colab here. We can certainly do a check on that. Takes a little bit of a while to get into breakout rooms and back again. It's not quick. It takes a few seconds, Rupert, to do that. So I'd prefer us to go in with a bit of an exercise, if that's okay, rather than go in and then just come straight back out again. That's probably going to kill about 10 minutes of this session, and we're not going to achieve anything. So pretty keen that we have a bit of a plan before we go in those rooms, if that's okay with you.
Sure, that's fine. So let's start with the first code, and we are going to start with data types. What are the different data types that we have in Python? So anyone has understanding about what are the different data types we have, you can suggest anything, and please type in the chat window if you are aware about the data types.
I'm not sure I understand that, Rupert.
Okay, yes, Jairaj is correct. That is integer, Boolean, float. Yes.
Okay, so catch us up then. How's Jairaj known to answer that? How's he known that that's what you're asking? Because there's some absolute beginners on here, Rupert. I won't have a clue what you're saying there.
Okay, so data types are being used in, earlier we have used in schools and colleges, data types in, mathematics. So data types in Python are the same. And so first of all, I want to help you with this hash. We write the hash sign in order to comment the codes, and which is not identified, which is not taken by the Python interpreter. So it does not interfere with the coding, or it does not interfere with the programming. So if you write down the comment, and it also helps you to understand what you are doing with the Python code. Okay, so this is why we have written hash, and the Python data types are, let me share my screen. Just a second. What we are going to cover today is, let me share this. Okay. Are you able to see this Python workshop, identifiers, variables?
Coming
Okay,
through, yeah.
great. So identifiers we had covered last session, and we are going to touch upon this again. And then we are working on this data types. So in Python, we have data types such as integers, floats, strings, complex numbers, list, and tuples. And there are some more, but we are going to stick to these data types for this session. So let's understand this. Let me go back to the Google Colab. So the first data type that we are doing is integer. And how do we find out that?
How do we find out that? What does that mean?
Just a second. So type, how to find out whether the particular value is, what kind of data type it is. So for example, we have 60, and if we put it under type within parenthesis, close parenthesis, and we do shift enter, we get this, the result as integer, int. It denotes integer, okay? And type is a keyword that, it gives you this particular result. Now, if you want to find out, then we have 7, shift enter. This also gives an integer because this is the data type of this is integer. All right. And then now we want to find out the another one is float. This is a different data type that we have with Python. Float is a decimal number, for example, 6.10 or 445.20, something like this. This is a float value. Okay. So if you want to find out what is the type of this, type of 5. Okay, let me take the same number, 6.10, and you press shift enter, it gives you float. So this is how you can find out the data type of these values. All right.
Do we need to understand what the different data types mean or not at this point?
Yes. What are different data types are, for example, so I don't want to get into too much of detail so that people will get confused. But since, our world has a lot of data, for example, it is in the form of numbers, text, or images and video, or so in Excel file also, when we create a list in the Excel file, then it can create numbers, float values, or text, strings. So all these, it has to be in the same format. So in order to create the same format, we need to understand what is the current format of that value. All right. Then we can change this to different format. So I will help you with that. And then
great.
And then we have type, for example, string. Okay, and string are written in double quotes or single quotes, and strings are sequence of characters, and it can contain numbers or characters such as alphabets. All right. So for example, here we have hello, and then if we have kept it under the single quote or double quote, it will give us the result as string. So let's do shift enter and see. Here we get the data type as string. All right. So let me know if this is clear to you or you want an explanation.
It's just whizzed around the room. Anne, that's probably something you're familiar with, I think, isn't it?
Yes, shift enter to get to the new line of code. Right.
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
Amazing.
Great.
So in the breakout room, what I want you to do is create and find out, just a second, you have maybe 34 and hello world and the number 5 within single quotes. And I want you to find the data type of all these 3 values. So I'm writing that in the chat window.
Okay, we're going to lose the chat window when we go into breakout rooms. So take a screenshot or write that down or something, or copy paste.
Great.
Vivek's ahead of the game.
Okay.
We've got a ringer.
That's okay, but still, I want you to write down so that, you know, it will be in practice for you and you will not be forgetting whatever we are teaching, right? So I know we can simply say this by looking at this, that 34 is an integer or this is a string value, but I still would recommend that please type in the code for this.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So we're going to have a little practice of that in our rooms.
Yeah.
How long do you want us in there for? 5 minutes?
I think 1 minute would do.
1 minute. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Going to create the rooms. You're all going to jump into 3 to 4 per room, and then we'll be back here in just a couple of minutes. Here we go. Hello. Hi. How are we doing so far? Nice and simple? Too fast? Comfortable? You there, Rodney? Okay. That's good to know, Lucy. Just obviously, Rodney, we're on those data types today. I'm not a data scientist at all, by the way. So, you know, I'm learning here with everybody else. Pleasure to host these events, but I get to learn as well. So not my sweet spot. This isn't. So it's like a you're back in the room, isn't it? What's that, hypnotist? Back in the room. Hey,
what I observed, Richard, that even we are in the breakout rooms. I think we are not supposed to be in the breakout room, and also people were not interacting with each other. So that's what I saw.
All right, we checked in our room just on texts, and I mean, it puts everybody in rooms, right? But you can come out of the room if you want. Okay. I mean, it's one click to get everybody in. Quick bit of feedback. Everybody following so far on the data types? Anything from the rooms? Any problems? Anyone just going, what on earth is this? You can unmute, put in the chat.
All the good. Everything is perfect.
All right, cool, Rupert. Let's do some more.
Great. Amazing. So, okay, JJ has entered. Okay, great. So far, so good and great. So now you are aware about data types, and you also know how to find out the data type of the values in Python. So that's amazing. And now we will see how to convert one data type to another data type. All right. So for example, let me create a variable called X, and I'm assigning some value. For example, I'm assigning the value as 60. Okay. And let's check out the type of this variable that we have just created. So type of X, shift enter. So this is an integer, right? And now I want to convert this integer value to float value. I want to convert this, the data, I want to change the data type of this particular variable. All right, so how do I do this? So if I want to change this to integer to string, so this is the comment that I have given, and please, and it is a good practice to create a comment, because that helps you to you and the other people also, those who are looking at your codes, it helps you to understand what we are actually doing with the code. Okay, so commenting is always a good idea. So now we want to convert this integer data type to string data type. So we just have to write down string and then this variable within close parenthesis and shift enter. And this gives us the value as 60. So what is string in Python? String is always denoted within single quotes or double quotes. Okay. For example, hello, this is a string, or this is a string in Python, and this is also the string in Python, and it has the same,
so it makes absolutely no difference whether you use.
Yes, there is no difference.
Okay, great.
Great. So this is how we create an anything, and string can be a sequence of numbers, a sequence of characters. But if it is written within single quotes or double quotes, if the number is written within single quotes, that is converted to string. All right. So even if it is, so now we want to convert this integer to float value. So we just write down float of this X, that is float, and within close parenthesis, and then shift enter. So this gives us 60.0, which is a float value or a decimal value. All right. So, and then we have another data type, which is complex data type. Okay. And it is, so let's see how it converts to complex data type. Complex of X is 60 plus 0j. So this is how we can convert one data type to another data type. Okay, so is that clear? Anybody has any doubt, or can we do one, create one task for this?
Sounds good.
Great.
Do you want to just walk us through that just quickly again while I check everybody's at the right speed? So just another quick recap of how we got from X equals 20 there to changing the type.
Sure. So here what we are doing is we are converting one data type to another data type. And real world example, there are many real world examples, but we do not want to get into that and create a lot of confusion. So this course since we just want you to, have a hands-on practice on Python. So, so let's stick to this. So here we have created a variable called X, and we have assigned a value, which is 60. And we want to find out what is the data type of this variable. So we can do that. This is how we have learned in the previous codes. So type of X is integer. And then we want to convert integer to string value, string data type, or float data type, or complex data type, right? So what we need to do is string of X within the closed parenthesis, and then you put the variable name, whatever variable name that you create, and then it converts integer to string value. And how do you know that this is a string value? Because it is within single quotes.
Yep.
Right? Anything which is under single quote or double quote is a string value in Python. All right. So now we want to convert this integer to float value. And now this is 60.0. Okay. And this is how, and then converting X to complex value. So we just type in complex and the variable X. This gives us 60 plus 0J.
What does J mean?
This is a real real value, and this is an imaginary value. This is how the complex numbers are defined. Okay.
Okay. All right. Let's just check in. Rodney, how are you getting on? Rodney, a second. Praveen, what about you?
Okay. Just type. Okay.
Okay. Anybody else want to raise a hand? Just check in before we move forward. It makes sense to me, Rupa. I'm certainly following you nicely myself this side. Mariana, yourself? Yeah. Getting errors following through.
Good, thank you.
Very good. Rodney, Rodney, are you doing this? Are you writing this as we go? Okay. Do you want to share your screen?
And don't worry about it, because we will be sharing this notebook to Alex, and then she can share with all of you, all the participants. So you can just follow along. You can again, go with your Google Collab and practice this. So that should not be a problem.
Okay. You can put files in the chat. So Rodney, if you want to take a screenshot and just pop that in the chat, it'd be great to have a look at what you're looking at, if you fancy it, so that we can have a see. Okay, Rupa, let's carry on.
Great. So now let's so now here we have string value. So let's start with another one. Okay. So this is what we have covered, complex number, and let us start with operators, and then we will look into list and tuples. So yeah. So first we will start with arithmetic operators, and then we will go to assignment operators. Okay. So now we have operators. And what are operators in Python? For example, plus, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and this modulus operator, and this is called as float division operator. Okay, so let's understand how all these things are being performed. So arithmetic we are going to start with arithmetic operators first. And in Python, it's very simple to do addition, mathematical operation, performing mathematical operation in Python. It's very simple. If you want to add two numbers, for example, 20 and 80, so you just have to mention 20 plus, use these operators, addition operator here, and this is called the left operand, and this is 80 is the right operand. So it can just add both of these operands and give you the result. If you press shift enter, this gives you the result as 100. Okay, so let's try to add a float value number, a float value and an integer value. So what is float value? For example, 20.25 plus 40, and then shift enter. So this gives us the float value as 60.25, right? So it's very simple in Python. Addition is very simple. And similarly, we can do subtraction. So here we have 80 minus 20 and shift enter, and this gives you the result as 60. So can you do the use subtraction operator for one float value and one integer value? Please create that in your notebook in this Google Collab and type in your answer, and you can use any of the number. I want you to subtract one integer. Use this minus sign operator, subtraction operator, and one float value. And you can take any integer number and any float value. And please type in your answer in the chat window. And if you're able to follow through, or if you're getting any error with that, okay, I'm getting errors. Okay, 100 minus 80.5, MG says, all right, great. Thanks, Abhinav. And also you can write down the result that you're getting. Okay, great. Lucy, amazing. Awesome.
Great.
So, and what about others? Are you able to follow through, or anybody facing any issue?
Working okay for you, Rodney?
So please do not hesitate if you are facing any issue, even if it is the slightest of doubt, please ask us, because you know, we are there to help you, and so that you should learn Python. So do not hesitate, and please ask your question, or if you're getting any error, please share that with us. And we want you to get the maximum benefit from this workshop. Okay, and can we redo the float value scripting? Okay, why the long decimal for Himanshu's calculation? Okay, just a second. 12 minus 35.5, 12 minus. So let's see what is the result that we're getting. Okay.
Wow.
This is
What's the deal there?
okay.
There's a man shoots around, found a bug in the system or something.
Yeah.
How bizarre.
12 minus 35.45. Okay. No, I think we need to, Arpit, do you have any suggestion on this? And there?
Yeah, Rupa.
Yes, we're getting this answer for Himanshu. Do we have any suggestion on this?
Yes. Because by default in the Python, for the integer value, there is in the memory, there is some byte location is there. And for the same, for float, there is some by default byte location is there. So this operation, when they are performing, so they are getting the decimal answer up to the by default, which Python can accept. Okay, for this one. But yeah, we can change for this result minus 23.45000 to roundable decimal value also minus 23.5, sorry, minus 23.45 also.
Okay, and how can we do that? Any idea?
Of round function.
Okay, by using the round function.
Yeah.
Okay.
This value
right.
everyone is getting because of by default Python functionality.
Okay.
This is by default.
All right. Yeah. So
and Rodney's question?
I'm sorry, Richard.
Rodney's question, can we redo the float value scripting was what he asked.
Okay. We can redo the float value. I'm getting, so do you want me to explain the float or what is that?
Rodney, any more information for what you need? Okay.
Okay, let's go for more simpler operations and just ignore this for a while. And all right, so now we know how to work with addition operators and subtraction operators. And now let's check this multiplication operator. And how does Python multiplies the different numbers? For example, 20. And if you want to use multiplication, 20 into 10. So we just have to put 1 star and then 10 and shift enter. This gives you the result as 200. All right. Or 60 into 5 and shift enter. This gives you 300. All right. So this is how multiplication is performed. But so this is for integer, and let's check this on float value. 50 into 2, 50.4 into 2 and shift enter. So this gives us 100.8. All right. So, and what happens with string value? Any guesses? So this is we have string and string into 2. So let's see what Python does for string values. Shift enter. And then it gives us hello, hello 2 times. So this is how Python performs its operations on integer and float value and string values. So is it clear, everyone? Any question, any doubt? Okay, I'm just follow through for now. I guess we'll correct from video record. All right. Okay. So let me go with another operator, that is divisor in Python. And it is done by this particular symbol. And if you want to divide two numbers, for example, 40 divided by 2, so we just have to write down this particular this sign, this operator, 40 divided by 2, and shift enter. So this gives us the float value. It always gives us the float value, all right, even if it is completely divisible by this divisor. Or if you want to do 10 divided by 3 and shift enter, so this gives us the value as 3.33 and this long float value. Okay. And the another one is 10 float value. Sorry, this is the floor division. This is called the floor division, and let me write it down. Floor division operator. And what it does is it just gives the integer part of the quotient. For example, it gives us 3. So here 3 is the integer part of the quotient, and it just ignores the other float values, other decimal values. All these decimal values it ignores, and it just gives you the integer part of this particular quotient. So please let me know if this is clear, and if we can solve some question on this. Are you able to follow through? Any question, any doubt?
Yeah, Lucy says all clear. Anybody it's not all clear for? I mean, it's a good pace, I think, from Rupa.
Okay.
Hopefully, Rodney, you're sort of following this part. Great. Nice. Thanks, Jiraj.
Amazing.
Good.
Thanks, Lucy.
Good.
Thanks, Jiraj. Amazing.
You've got an impressive group today, Rupa.
Great.
Very good. Very good.
Thanks, Vivek. Thank you, Abhinav. Great. Awesome.
Great.
So I just want you to take two numbers, for example, 45 and maybe 7, okay, and divide these two numbers and in such a way that we just get the integer value of the quotient. So please help me out which operator that we should use here. If you just want to have the integer value of this quotient when we are dividing 45 by 7, 45 and 7. Any guesses? Do we use this, this, or person sign? So one, so this is the first one, second one, or the third one?
I think everybody knows the answer. I'm seeing
Yes.
consistent answer. Yes. Great.
Amazing. Awesome.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Well done, everybody.
Great. Great. Wow, I'm so happy that we all are learning and everybody is catching up with this session. Wow, that's amazing. So another one is modulus operator. So this person sign, this is called modulus operator. All right. So what it does is, sorry, this is going to give the error because I have not put the hash sign, and hash sign is used for creating a comment. So whenever you are performing any code, please try to do commenting so that we understand what we are doing. All right. So person sign is used to find out the remainder when we are dividing two numbers. For example, 45% 7. And what is the remainder for this is, let's see, 3. 3 is the remainder, right? Or let's take a simple, more easier numbers, 10 divided by 3. So we already know the remainder would be 1, right? So now we know how to use what and all we have learned. Can you just type in the chat window? Everyone can give different answers. what and all we have learned in arithmetic operators. So let's stick to arithmetic operators. And what are the different operators that we have learned? Addition, multiplication, division, subtraction. All right. And
Yep.
amazing. Great. And what are these names called? Arithmetic operators. All right. So this double slash, this is called floor division operator. Right. And then this is a division operator. And then we have, this is a modulus operator. All right. We're good to go till here. Are we all on the same page? And if you are on the same page, let's move on to the next topic. Amazing. Thanks, Rodney. Thank you, Jairaj. Thank you, Abhinav. Thanks, Vivek. Awesome.
Great.
So can we move on to the next one? Now we have comparison operators. Okay. So what are comparison operators? When we are trying to compare two numbers or two operands, for example, in Python, we call it as operand, left operand or right operand. All right. So we can use equal to sign. This is one of the comparison operator. Then not equal to. This is how we denote as not equal to. Okay. And then we have greater than sign. This is used for comparing the two numbers. Less than sign and greater than and equal to and less than and equal to. All right. So these are the few comparison operators that we're going to use. So let's use the first comparison operator, that is equal to. So now 5 equal to 6. What do you think we are going to get the answer? False. Amazing. Great. So one thing to note is in comparison operators, we always get Boolean value. And what are Boolean values? It is true or false. Okay. So we always get in true or false for comparison operators. The results are always Boolean value. Okay. So 5 equal to 6, and then we press Shift Enter, and here we're getting false. Now 5 is not equal to 6. Shift Enter. What we are going to get? True, right? Cool. Yes. Now 5 is greater than 6. True, false. Yes. Great. So Shift Enter, we're going to get false. And then similarly, 5 is less than 6. True. Now the another one is 5 is greater than and equal to 6. Yes, anyone? What's your answer? False. Amazing. Great. 5 is greater than and equal to 6. It is false. Now 5 is less than and equal to 6. What are we going to get? Is it true or false? Yes. It is less than or equal to 6, right? Since 5 is less than, or equal to 6. So this is true, right? So this is how we perform comparison operators. So I want all of you to pat on your back or clap for yourself, because we have covered so much of milestone with Python on this first session, on the second session. And so please pat on your back and appreciate yourself. Great for covering this milestone. Amazing. Great. So now let's perform logical operators. So please let me know if this is too overwhelming. Are you guys, ready to learn, or is it getting too much? Are you able to keep up with this? Ready?
Ready, Rupa,
All
some
right.
more? We're going to run for about another half an hour, I think, aren't we, Rupa? Is that right?
Yeah, I think it's 8:30 to 10, right?
Your
Yes.
time, yeah, we're at 4 o'clock this time. I know it's a Friday, but you know, you're doing well. Let's do another
Okay.
30 minutes. Let's see what we can achieve.
Sure, I would love to go on and on. So yes, so now
Great
we are
comment
going.
from Lucy there. That's really nice.
Great. So now we are going to do logical operators. All right. And this is also very interesting, logical operators. Here we have logical and. This is logical and. And then we have logical or and logical not. Okay, so how we perform with these logical operators. So here we have, if both the operands are true, then logical and, the result for the logical and is true. All right, so here the result is, please make a note. If you're not making a note, please try to make a note, because we tend to forget after the session is over. So I want you to take a note on this. So yes, result is true if both the operands are true. Okay. And otherwise false. For logical OR, we have result is true if any one operand is true. Any one of the two operand has to be true in order for the result to be true. And only if both the operands are false, here we will get false. Okay. And this just reverses the result. So let's work with this and it will be more clear. So in Python, we have another data type called Boolean. For example, let's check this out. Type of true and shift enter. And this gives us the Boolean value. Okay. Just a second. This gives us the Boolean value. So now let's work with logical and. True and true. What do you think? What should be the answer? What would be the result based on our rules? Any answer? Any guess? True. Okay. Great. True and true. And when we press shift enter, this gives us true. All right. Now true. And please, and also please make a note that all these are case sensitive. Okay. So if we are using the lowercase letters, the starting letter is lowercase, then it will throw an error. So now true and false. So what should be the result over here? Since we are using logical AND. Great. True, no. True and false. Okay. Okay. Others, Henry, Lucy, Jairaj, Shimanshu, Rodney, everyone is able to follow along. Okay, amazing. Great. So if we do shift enter, this gives us false because it says that result is true only if both the operands are true. Otherwise, it is false. Any one of this operand is false, then the result is false with logical AND. Now let's use logical OR. Okay. And here we have true or true. And then we have the answer as true, of course, right? And then true or false. What should be the answer?
Sure, I'll just come back in. So I think I've got ahead of myself when I said true last time, because this is the one that I thought was true,
Okay.
the or. It looks like
Yeah.
everyone's following better than me. That's a
Great.
good sign.
No worries. So this is true, right? So because we are using logical OR, and logical OR says any one of the operand is true, the result is true. Okay. Now false or true.
Do you want to just flip back up a little, Rupa, so we can see your screen above that?
Sorry.
Don't worry, you've done it already. Don't worry. Don't worry,
Okay.
don't worry. It's all good.
Okay, great. So this is clear, right? I hope till now everybody is great. Everybody is able to follow. Amazing. So now we have done with logical OR, and now let's see NOT, logical NOT. And how it performs is, now we have true. Okay, let's see, NOT and true. So it just reverses our result. So here we get false, right? If we place NOT and false, it reverses this particular value. So it will be true, right? Any confusion, any doubt over here? No? Okay, awesome. So now let's trick Python. So let's hear true and not false. What do you think? What should be the answer? What would be the result over here?
You'd certainly think true, wouldn't you?
Okay. Yes, for sure. It is true, right? Because true and not false, this gives us true, right? Now, not false and not false. True, right? Amazing. So I hope this is exciting till now. And let's create one task. Let's do one task. And I want you to create one task where the result is false. And you can use AND operator and NOT operators. And a NOT operator. Sorry, and NOT logical operators. Can you create that? You can be creative. You can use anything using both and NOT operators. So we have 30 seconds. Okay. Cool. Amazing. Oh, awesome.
Very good.
Okay. Ethan is very, very creative.
Yes.
Great. Amazing. No and so. Okay.
Does that work?
No and though. Okay. Let me check that. No. Okay. Gerard is not true and false. Amazing. I just love the energy of the group, and everybody is, learning at the, such a fast pace. And it's really amazing that we have learned so much. Great. So let me trick Python one more time. So by using the comparison operator and the logical operators. All right. So how we are going to do is, let me give you an example. 2 greater than 4 and 5 less than 6. So what do you think? What should be the answer? Yes, 2 greater than 4. What is it? What result we are going to get with 2 greater than 4? It's false, right? This is false. And 5 less than 6 is true. So ultimately, this is false and true. So the result is false and true. The result is false, right? So this is how we can use Python. And for this comparison operators, logical operators, and arithmetic operators. So do you want to take some more examples on this?
Let's just check in, because I mean, we see 3 or 4 people each time that are certainly following this extremely well, but there are a few more on the call. Anybody? Okay, Vivek says that's enough examples, I think, as I understand your message. Anybody just want to recap at this point before we do the last sort of 15 minutes? Please do shout. We're all learning together. Complete safe space. Lucy's good. Okay.
Great.
All right. Okay, great.
Okay, amazing. So we are done with logical operators, comparison operators, and we have also seen this. And now, just let me check that. Now we are done with comparison operators. Okay. So let's create identifiers. So are we ready to create identifiers? Or, okay. Okay, let me help you understand the keyword in Python. So keywords are the reserved words in Python, and these build the vocabulary of Python programming languages. And so let's find out what are the different list of keywords that we have. Okay, so first let's import keyword module. Import, and we can do that by import keyword, and just write down import and keyword and shift enter. And then we want to find out the list of all the keywords that we have in Python. Okay, and how can we do that is keyword dot kwlist list. And when you press Shift Enter, it gives you the list of all the keywords that we have in Python. So for example, these false, none, true, and all these are the reserved keywords. And these keywords cannot be used for creating any variable names or any function name, because these are keywords are they are inbuilt names, and they perform some specific task which Python understands, right? So somebody was explaining me what is keyword, and they said that keyword is like your Python is like your dog. And so if you talk to your dogs, for example, today, how's the weather today? And it will just look at you because it doesn't understand how to respond, right? Or if you talk anything else, how was your Christmas, or what you're going to do tomorrow? So it will just going to look at you. But your dog will understand walk or come here, eat, and all these words your dog will understand, right? So similarly, Python just understand these keywords, false, none, and all these things. And so these create the vocabulary in Python. Okay, so let's check if we have any other name and we want to check whether it is a valid keyword or not. And how can we check that? For example, we have this Python, and we want to check whether Python is a keyword or not. Okay, so in order to check that, keyword dot is keyword, and Python. This is how you can check whether this particular variable name is a keyword or not. And this gives us false because, of course, Python is not a keyword. As we can see here, Python is not a keyword, right? But if I take any name, for example, global, and Shift Enter, this gives us the value as true because global is a valid keyword in Python, right? So this is how we can, check that. And please let me know if you have any question or any doubt, or if you want me to explain something else. If you want me to explain you list or tuples, I can go ahead with that, or if that is enough for you. Yeah. Richard, what do you suggest?
Yeah, no, good, I think, but happy to. Just want to just have a look at what Henry said. So Rodney's put in that little exercise, and is Henry correct there to modify that?
Mom is not equal to dad is true. Okay.
Okay. Lucy, I'd like to know more about lists and tuples. You'll have to explain that one.
Okay, you want me to do that? All right.
As you wish.
Sure.
Got
amazing.
10 minutes.
Great, Rodney and Henry. Yes, because here we have these strings value, and since these two strings are not same, and that is a reason why we are getting this as true, right? Awesome. And I'm sure this group is really creative, and they're coming up with really creative stuff. So that's amazing. Okay, one more thing that I want you to understand is how to perform some operations with string. Okay, so as we understand, if we type this Python within single quotes, this is a string value, right? And the type of this number within single quotes is also a string. Correct? And if we want to, for example, if we are adding these two numbers, 6 and 5, since these two are integer numbers, and we add these two numbers, this gives us the result as 11. But how about this? If we have these two numbers within single quotes, what do you think? What would be the answer for this? Any guesses? Any answer? Amazing. Okay. Great. How about others? This gives us as 65. So it just concatenates these two strings. Okay. So it does not add, but these concatenates. For example, if you write hello and another string is, sorry, that is world. So it just concatenates. It does not add, but it concatenates. Now we have this hello world. All right. So if the numbers are within the single quotes or double quotes, so it just concatenates, and this gives us the value as 65. Okay. So let's quickly begin with list. Okay. So list are collection of different data types. It can contain different data types, and these are mutable. That means list can be, it can be modified once it is created, or yeah, and it can also contain different data types. So let's check the syntax for list. How can we actually create a list? Syntax for creating a list is, first we have to define a list name, and then we can write down as list 1. And list is always within the square brackets. All right, so this is the rule for creating a list. This is the syntax for creating a list. It is created within square brackets, for example, and then list 2. List 3, and so on till list n. All right, so this is how we create list. Now let's try to find out list. Let me give the name as list 1, and I can just create the list with only numbers, for example 1, 6, 10, 16, 18. So this is how we can create a list. All right. And then you can please create along with me. If I'm going too fast or too slow, let me know. Great. And then we have list 2 we can create. List 2 can be a collection of different data types, for example 1, and then Python. This is a string value. Then we can take another float value like 50.6, and another one as true Boolean value. Okay, so this is how we can create this list. Now, let's see how to perform some operations with list. Okay, so list, or let's check what is the type of this particular list that we have created. So this is how we can find out the data type of this particular variable. and this gives us that list, right? And now if we want to do some perform certain operations, for example, list 1 plus list 2, what do you think, how it is going to perform this operation? Any idea? Okay, if we do list 1 plus list 2, it just adds all these values within the same list. It just extends this list.
I
Okay.
think that's what Himanshu said, wasn't it? Make a bigger list. I think that's correct.
Yes. So it does not add these values, but it just extends this list. All right. So if we have, again, if we want to add list 1 again, now here we get this is repeated, right? So here we have till 18 and then 1 to true and then again 1 to 18, right? So this is how it adds. Now, if you want to find out the length, how many elements we have in the list, how can we find that out? So we have the function called len. This helps us to find out the number of elements in the list. All right. So, sorry, since I'm not given comment over here. Okay. So let us find out the number of elements in list 1. And shift enter. This gives us 5. Okay. So can you find out the number of elements in list 2 and type in your answer in the chat window? Please create that. Please find that out and type in your answer.
While they're doing that, Hayden says, can we have a list that contains other lists as its contents?
Yes, yes, we can do that as well.
Great.
Yes. Amazing.
Thanks, Arpit. You were just getting to it. Okay, looks like a nested list, of course, yes.
Yes.
There we go, 4. Looks to be unanimous.
So, yes, we have 3 more minutes and I can still go ahead with some more things here. Okay, so now if we want to add these numbers, right, in the list. So these are the numbers that we have. And if we want to add all these numbers of this list 1, so what we need to do is we need to use the sum function and list underscore 1, shift enter, and this gives us as 51. Okay. So this is how we can add the list. So let's try to find out if we do the same thing with list 2, which contains different data types. This gives us the error because integer, string, these values cannot be added. Okay. So yes. And then if you want to fetch any of this particular element, how can we fetch? So in fact, we are covering a lot of this, lot of the Python, and I'm sure if any one of you are joining this for the first time, this is your first experience with Python programming, and we have covered a lot, and you will not have any doubt, or you will be easily able to go through the rest of the Python, right? So let me just help you with indexing. And indexing is one of the important concept we have in Python. So what is indexing is, here we have list 1. So indexing means we can fetch any element in Python by using the index. Okay, so if we want to find out the third element or fourth element or any other element, we can do by indexing. So let's find out how to fetch this particular value as 10. How can we find out the 10? Okay, through indexing. So this can be done by using. Okay, one more thing is that indexing in Python always starts with 0. So this is 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Indexing in Python always starts with 0. So here the number 1 is at the 0th index, 6 is at the first index, 10 is at the second index. So what is the index of 18? Can you write down in the chat window? What is the index of 18? 3, okay.
0, 1, 2, 3, 4.
0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is at the 4th index, right? 18th is at the 4th index. So what is the index of 10? Index of 10 is 2. Great, cool. So index of 10 is 2. So here we just have to mention index. This is how the syntax for fetching the element or indexing in Python is done. So this is how we get 10, right? And if you want to fetch the element 16, then what can we write down? What should be the index over here? 3, right? Okay, brilliant. Yes, so 3. So it gives us the answer as 16. So we are good to go. And yes, this is how we can perform indexing. And then we have slicing and different methods and functions in list. And tuples also performs the same way, but tuples is immutable. So, you know, we have covered whatever we have thought of covering in this session. And anybody, any question? So we are open for your question and doubt or any feedback.
Well, first of all,
And
I'd say
please don't leave because I have something important to share with you. So please don't leave and just wait for a few more minutes. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, you can unmute yourself and you know, you can interact, you can come on video, and we would love to share. We would love to know about the session and any question. Okay, thank you, Jairaj.
Some
Amazing.
nice feedback there. Thanks, Lucy, for that. It certainly has been a great session with Rupa and Arpit today.
Thanks a lot. Amazing. So still, anybody still have the fear of programming? Anyone who has a fear of programming now?
Great. I have a question, Rupa. Can we invite you back in the new year? Can we do some more with you?
Yeah, definitely. We would love to do that. And it's always a pleasure being with MKAI and, you know, working with you and meeting the MKAI community. So it's always a pleasure. And we are there for you.
Pleasure is ours, most definitely. Great.
Amazing.
There's some lovely feedback there. That's always nice to see. Did you want to say one more thing, Rupa, then before we sign off?
Yes. So anyone has any question? And okay, great. So thank you so much. It's really amazing. Thank you, Marianne. Thank you, Jairaj. Thank you, Lucy, Hayden, Rodney. Awesome. Thanks. And thanks for this wonderful participation. Amazing. Thank you, MG. And please connect with me on LinkedIn. And I would love to connect with you and know more about you. and we are always there to help you. And if and so I want you to ask, how many of you are now really confident and excited about Python? Please type in the chat window. Okay, cool, amazing, awesome. Thanks, Peng. Thank you, MG. Thanks, Richard, Vivek. Thank you so much. So now, since you have been here for almost 1.5 hours, and some of you have been in the previous session also, and now we have created a connect, a bonding with all of you, and it's like a family. And for this Christmas, I want to gift you something for this Christmas. And the gifts. So do you want to know what is the gift? Please type in the chat window if you're excited about this. So type, I'm excited. Okay, cool. Amazing. Thank you, Jaraj. Thank you, MG. Amazing. Thanks, Abhinav. Lucy, thank you. Great. Thanks, Henry. Awesome. Great. Thank you, Rodney. So we are going to offer you the AI Beehive course for Python, and that is for free. And we will give you access for 2 weeks, and so that you can learn and you can go through whatever we have taught you, and it's more elaborative in our recorded courses. And if you face any issue, or if you have any doubt, you can come up to us, and you can connect with me anytime on LinkedIn. Connect with me or Arpit, and we are there to help you. So we are going to open this course on 25th of December, and I will intimate Richard or Alex about the same, and we are going to give you access to those courses for 2 weeks. And because our intention is that we always wanted to help you come out of that fear of programming, and we tried to do this with these 2-day workshop, but we want to continue this so that your learning should not stop. And this is how this is why we have come up with this idea of gifting you on Christmas.
That's very generous.
With MKAI and Richard. So
incredible.
Yes.
And how do people access the course, Rupert? Do they come through us? Do they contact you? Do you want to share it? What's the best way?
Yeah, we'll figure that out. And so before 25th, we'll figure that out. And I will give the access to all the people. And please share your name or email ID with Richard.
Yeah, just DM me. You know where I am. I'm on WhatsApp. I'm on LinkedIn. You've given you Rupert's address as well. So just give me a Rupert a shout and we'll get you into that course. Rupert, I'm going to celebrate your amazing gift with my Snap Christmas camera.
Amazing.
There we go.
Okay. Awesome.
So that's so cool. Thank you. And there we go. Go back to where I was. No, that's my rock. There we go. That's the one.
Amazing.
Wonderful.
And have a great year ahead, and we continue to learn, and yeah, and have a great Christmas and lots of celebrations, and have a great time with your family and friends. So
yeah, so no, message Alex. Actually, she responds faster than I do. So
okay.
I manage the team account, but yeah, send Alex a message and I'll brief her. Thank you so much. If you haven't thanked Rupert in the chat, then just put a little thanks in there, because it's lovely to see appreciation, and she's done so much for us today and really run a wonderful session for us. And thanks for just staying on a few minutes. So whether it's your morning, afternoon, evening, or night, have a good one. If you care about Christmas, have a good Christmas. If you don't, then just have a great new year.
Great.
And okay, cool. We'll end the session and we'll say goodbye. So hop out of the call now. I'll have a quick sync up with Rupa about January, and otherwise we will see you very soon. So thank you. And thanks, Hayden, for that message.
And stay connected. Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks, MG. Thank you, Jairaj. Thank you, Arpit, Henry, Marian. Amazing. And I love the participants, the participation, and it was really incredible. Thank you, Adelia. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lucy. Amazing. Great.
Hayden, just message me. Just send me a message, team@mkai.org. But even better, message Alex. She's really on this stuff. She's really quick. alex@mkai.org, or find us on LinkedIn. And you know where we are. Just tell us you want the course, and then as soon as Rupa's got those details ready, we'll get them shared out for you. I promise you won't miss out.